Good evening, you're watching State of Business on our television. This is Zeenat Musafir and these are the headlines. Target is to maintain inflation between 4% and 6%, states Senior Deputy Governor of Central Bank. Raid Amazon's Adventure Challenge to be held in Sri Lanka for the third time. News in details. During an exclusive interview with our television, Senior Deputy Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe explained the central bank's new inflation targeting monetary policy regime, which requires the central bank to target inflation as its anchor to achieve long-term economic growth.
Under the inflation, what we call inflation targeting regime, there's a requirement under the new monetary policy framework. We are now having the modern monetary policy framework, which is called inflation targeting monetary policy framework. But one of the requirements under the inflation targeting regime is to have a nominal target. So our objective is to maintain low and stable inflation, which is to maintain inflation around 4 to 6%. So our nominal anchor target is inflation. When you have a target in inflation, you can't target anything else. You can't target the exchange rate. So in this regime, the requirement is that you target inflation and you let the exchange rate to be much more flexible, to be able to absorb any external and domestic shocks into the exchange rate, so that exchange rate adjustment will stabilize the growth. Obviously, it will have some impact on inflation, but 1% depreciation of the rupee would have only 0.2% impact on the inflation. Empirical evidence tells us maximum 1% depreciation has 0.2% inflation. So our inflation target is to maintain inflation around 4 to 6%. And we have been doing it successfully for last 10 years. So this kind of gradual depreciation is not going to have a significant impact on inflation, because 4% means only 0.8% impact on overall inflation. That we can manage through our monetary policy framework while targeting inflation as an anchor. So we want to maintain inflation around 5% over a medium term or long term period for us to maintain inflation, and we can't target exchange rate. So that's why in our policy now, exchange rate is more determining the market forces through economic fundamentals, while anchoring inflation through interest rates. That's why we central bank increase or decrease interest rates. And recently we reduced the interest rates to support growth and also allow the currency to appreciate gradually to support growth. Both are growth supporting factors. If you raise interest rates, obviously that will retard growth. Then growth, economy was overheating, credit was growing high, then obviously we raise interest rates. But recently we reduce interest rates to support growth, and also we allow some gradual depreciation of the currency and maintain competitiveness again to support growth. Both are growth supporting measures. That's why central bank is now implementing this strategy.
Raid Amazons, the world's biggest female adventure challenge organized by Connaissance de Ceylon in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism, will be held in Sri Lanka for the third time. The event will be held in the East Coast in Sri Lanka in around Pasikoda, Thoppigala and Kalkuda from the 11th to the 19th of October 2018 and again from the 23rd to the 31st of March in 2019, and it happens to be the 18th iteration of the international event. This event is held once a year in a different country with around 500 to 600 participants competing in a week-long multi-sport adventure challenge. In teams of 2 or 3, the participants will compete in challenges such as orienteering, cycling, canoeing, running and archery. All activities are designed to test the skill, determination and teamwork of the contestants. Speaking at the event, the Cultural and Cooperation Councillor of the French Embassy of Sri Lanka, Jean-Philippe Gavez, made the following remarks with regard to the bilateral relationship between France and Sri Lanka in Colombo.
Indeed, it's also a great asset for the bilateral relationship between our two countries for several reasons. First, it brings, as I said, a high standard, world-class event designed and created in France to Sri Lanka, and it's going to create, of course, a lot of exchanges and sharing. It's an asset for Sri Lanka. The spotlight will be put on Sri Lanka towards the French community in Asia and in France. Of course, it may boost the tourism. The tourism between France and Sri Lanka is booming. Figures have tripled since 2010. Now we have more than 100,000 French nationals visiting Sri Lanka every year, and it keeps expanding. On the other side, the number of Sri Lankan visiting France is also booming, so it's very good for our two countries.
We're going in for a short break. Do stay tuned for more news after these commercials. Welcome back. The State Music Awards Ceremony 2018 was held under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena at the Nelumpokana Theatre yesterday. The awards ceremony was jointly organised by the Department of Cultural Affairs and the Arts Council of Sri Lanka with the aim of felicitating the individuals in the local musical industry who rendered a great service for the development of the field. During the ceremony, President presented special awards to the musicians for their valuable services in the field of music. Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, scholars and artists including State Musical Advisory Board Chairman Samantha Herath and many others participated in this event. The internationally developed and managed mixed-use development project by the Shangri-La Group celebrated the topping out of the One Galle Face Tower last evening. The One Galle Face development is fourfold, comprising of the One Galle Face Mall, the One Galle Face Tower, the residence at One Galle Face and the Shangri-La Hotel Colombo. The One Galle Face Tower offers 540,000 square feet of premium office space that spans over 32 levels, combining facilities that are on par with global standards. With the signing of maiden tenancy agreements with ZTE Lanka Private Limited and SoftLogic Insurance PLC, the One Galle Face Tower is expected to be Colombo's most sought-after premier business hub.
The residences, which is our apartment, we will commence the handing over of the units by the end of this year. For the shopping mall and the office tower, we are scheduling to commence its operation by the second quarter of 2019. So we believe this unique development will undoubtedly redefine the vistas of the city of Colombo. As I mentioned before, we will be unveiling our office suite in a while later. This office suite will give you a glimpse of how efficient the office layout could be due to the fact that it's column-free floor space, as well as all the facilities are actually clubbed in the core of the building.
We're going in for a short break. Do stay tuned to see how the stocks perform today after these commercials. Welcome back. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The All Share Price Index dropped 0.91 points to close at 6,228.15 and the S&P SR20 dropped 3.30 points to close at 3,428. The turnover was 277.4 million rupees and 19 million shares were traded. Next is Forex rates. That's all the news we have for you today. Join us tomorrow with Peace Roundup on our television. Until then, take care and good night.